Good afternoon to you. This is the recording of the legendary fuck up from Sunday, where I both had the wind, which has come back. Unbelievable, not a breath all day. Also, I ran out of battery. Hopefully, the half an hour. I was actually pretty happy with the half an hour that we did, but it wasn't full and complete. Today I have a poll, so I will be able to do some variations for you. And what I'm going to do is, because to save a little bit of time, I'm not going to do the cars, full body cars. If you should need, well, you obviously need to do them, all right? But here's the test. You should be doing them every day. So you do them in a class, do them every day. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe I'll send both videos, fine. If not, look at my Instagram, Stronger by Nurture. It's on my IGTV, all right? A little plug for you. We talked about homework. That's how we started. So we did the cars and I talked about homework. And the homework for this week is to be able to better find internal rotation stretch of the posterior capsule, okay? Now, when you're working on yourself, intention is more important than position. Indeed, it is always the case that intention is more important than position. Okay, so in the class, we are going to be doing this. Okay, however, this position is what we do in the class. That's what I have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. There are other options that we have used in the past in class. So you could sit, you could try and internally rotate the shoulder here. Same rules apply. This is the fixed position. You move your body around in order to best get the stretch at the back of the shoulder, okay? We want to avoid compensation, rolling the shoulder, cricking the neck, etc., to really be able to focus your intention. So the idea over the next week is to just spend some time trying to best find the position that suits you in order to get that internal rotation stretch. If you're finding it well and you want to do a few more pails and rails, fine. Don't overdo it. Every other day would be fine for pails and rails, but what I'd like you to do for the homework is to try and find that stretch, become a ninja of it. If you are lying down in this position, okay, what could be, there's a whole arc here that you could work in. So we go with just off 90 degrees and work here, okay? You could just as easily come in, or indeed some of you may find something of interest out there, okay? Normally 15 to 20 degree intervals, okay? Okay. Just go over a little bit of what we're going to do. So we're going to get internal rotation of the shoulder, pails and rails, 60 to 80%. Longer pails and rails today, okay? I'll do it as a series of breaths, okay? But about 30 seconds is what you are aiming for. If you cannot achieve the pails and rails for 30 seconds, don't worry, just go back to passive and wait for the commands to catch up. Or you could do intermittent and pails and rails for shorter times while the rest of us are doing the longer pails and rails. That's absolutely fine, okay? We'll be doing the capsular cars down. They will be at 100%, okay? We're going to use some tactical feedback with the rest of our body, okay? And then what we didn't do on Sunday is we're going to do the passive range lift-off, okay? So still from that position, we will back off 15 to 20 degrees and then go into those, okay? Well, obviously we'll do those left and right, and then we will move on to some shoulder flexion stuff. Shoulder flexion is that one, okay? And if you remember, I gave you both the prone option, God, I forgot my water, prone option, or picked up onto the books or yoga blocks or small child pouffe, if you've got one, or the pole from the quadruped position here, okay? I will do a round of both. How about that? After that, we will finish with some swimmers. Indeed, we will find out whether this lasts an hour. Well, it won't, because I'm not going to do the cars, but I have been waffling on. So we'll get a good sense of how I pad it out with a bit of chat. But this is my apology to you. I also just want to say that if, because it was my error, that you obviously paid for a session that you didn't get. So you are now getting this but also just please just let me know if you want to come to whatever the next session is that you want to do. It's on me, okay? Just let me know so I know how to send you the link, or I know to send you the link. Okie dokie, let's imagine we've done the cuts all the way around, bang, bang, bang. You can pause this now and do those on your own, okay? You will then join me lying on your side on the floor, head support if you wish. Thank God the sun has gone in and the wind's bollocked off as well. So here we go. You spend a bit of time, as we always do, trying to find that stretch. You can be 45 degrees with the legs. If you haven't got the space in your house, you can bend your knees, that's fine. What we're really looking to do is find the stretch in the posterior capsule. So we talked about that at the back. Not the closing angle here. If you've got pain here, stop, okay? If you can't get a decent stretch somewhere else, maybe you need to back off. Maybe you just need to find a little bit, change the position slightly. If it's still painful, you would then just skip this bit, skip forward and go to the other shoulder, okay? And if you want to talk about that, you can, okay? Most of you should already be here, should be breathing. These breaths, when we do passive stretch, are long and slow. Preferably nasal breathing. Giving a decent amount of weight here, okay? Often when I write people's personal practice and I'm asking for static holds, okay, static stretching or passive stretching, it's 2 minutes, okay? Oof. Or enough time for me to explain, okay? We'll take 2 more deep breaths. Deep breath in. Again, keep orientating your body. As you breathe, you might need to adjust just to keep it into the back of the shoulder. Last breath in, and then we will go for our Pails and Rails. Breathe out. Next breath we're going to take in, pack air into the abdomen. Squeeze those abs. You can continue to breathe, but don't release the tension. And we're going to externally rotate up into the resistance with the top hand. So we're going to build now, 10 seconds this direction. Keep the top hand on. Start that initial rotation from the shoulder itself. 10 seconds to build it up. 2, 1. You should be able to maintain that now for 20 more seconds. Keep pushing up into the resistance. Feel like the upper arm is rotating in the shoulder joint itself to still be stretching the tissue at the back of the shoulder. 4, 3, 2. We switch immediately to rails, which means to actively try and pull your arm down towards the floor more. Keep the top hand on to guide it, but using all the muscles that you would need in order to keep your hand where it is if I was to release, so that my arm doesn't spring back. Keep it there. Keep rotating down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly relax. See if you've got any more room. Take a breath. Slowly unwind. You could rinse, repeat if you wanted to. We're going to go into capsular cars. So we've done some internal rotation. We want to train into that space now. Okay, so we were 60, 80% with the Pails and Rails. Now we're going to work up to 100% through this movement. Okay, I'm going to do it from this position because it's easy for me to be on camera. But if you need to stand, you are most welcome. If you want to sit, you can sit. Whatever you need to do in order to keep the focus into the shoulder itself. The arm you just used up to the side, 90 degrees. Okay, we're not going to move forwards or backwards. It's a rotational movement down towards the floor. Okay, we take a big breath. The other hand is going to come across the abdomen, feel the abs. Okay, keep those nice and tight. We don't want flaring or compensation this way. Okay, we're going to squeeze our hand. Take a big breath. We're going to do 5 of these. Squeeze your abs and start to rotate that fist down towards the floor. Keep going. Reach your end range. Stay there for a second. 2, 1, open up. Okay, just rest there. Let me show you some compensations. What we want to try and avoid is letting that shoulder roll forwards. Okay, so if you feel like you're looking like you're trying to hold a phone to your neck, to your ear, sorry, then stop doing that. All right. What I like to think about is width as well, okay? So my elbow traveling away from my body tries to create a little bit more space here, almost like I was trying to create or pull my finger. You can feel that space I get in my joint here. Same sort of thing, okay? Take a deep breath, abs tight, and start to rotate down towards the floor. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, rotate again. I give you a couple from the side. Arm up, take a breath. No movement forward or back. Abs tight, rotate. 2, 1, back up. Rotate. Hold at the bottom, max it out. 2, 1, back up. Last one. Rotate. Back up. All right. So this is a bit that we didn't manage on Sunday, okay? Had to leave it out. But you get back into your sleeper hold, okay? Really hope that you can hear me, because if you can't, I'll have to film this again. So it's all good practice. We get into the same position that you were at. You go to your end range, feel that stretch in the back, but then I want you to back off 15, 20 degrees, okay? You're going to back off 15 to 20 degrees, open up the hand, take a big breath in, rib cage down, abs tight, and then do the capsule of movement again. So we're going to try and pull away, create space between the passive support here and my hand, okay? So I take my breath and start to rotate down. Try and back on, back up, get nice and tight, open my hand, and try and pull away. Relax. Pull away. Back up. Pull away. Back up. Pull away. Keep your mind in that shoulder. Don't let it roll, same as we did before. Ready? And pull away. Pull away. 7, 6, 5, 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out we come. Now, what I should have said there is that we don't want a huge running start. So yes, you want to come out 15, 20 degrees, but if you're getting a load of movement here, that's too much, okay? We just want a natch knacker, all right? About, I don't know, no more than a deck of cards, okay? So for me, you may have noticed that I was going lower and lower and lower. That's because I wasn't concentrating and it was just too easy. I had too much of a running start to create, okay? We want to be working really, really hard here, having to recruit and then slowly lift and create that space. Right, let's set it up on the other side. I'll go with the 45 because I got the space, okay? I can work within here, but I start 90 degrees, all right? Just inside, and that's where I'm gonna try and start. Now, I'm left-handed, and I've said this before, but if you are on your dominant hand now, you may notice that there's just less room. It's not uncommon, right? I don't know that for a fact. Some guy who looked at my shoulder once and he uses this system said, and he's an osteo / all those other letters after his name, said that it's a common finding, like sort of 95% of the people he trains, all right, or sees. Okay, so we're going to just take a little bit of time just to breathe. Okay, let's take 5 deep breaths, long breath. Okay, what we said, this is the fixed position. This is the fixed point, so you're going to move your body around in order to get that stretch in the back tissues of the shoulder. All right, if it's coming down the arm, you've gone too far. If it's closing angle pain, you've gone too far. All right, if you can't move it to a position, all right, where there's no closing angle, or there's always closing angle pain wherever you go, that would be a red flag for me. And just say, look, just stop. All right, join us later. Maybe just go back to cars. All right, nothing wrong with that. And it would be something that I would then go and refer you out, because closing angle joint pain is no good. All right, you should still be here stretching, taking those breaths. Oh, I wish I had a pillow. If you were to rinse and repeat this, an ideal situation in your personal practice would be to passive, Pails and Rails, however you want to do, then go back to passive again. See if you can squeeze out a little bit more. Another 2 minutes, and then Pails and Rails again. And that's how you know you're really getting into that new stuff, okay? We don't have the time to do that. People haven't come here just to do this exercise. Here we go. We're going to take a breath. Exhale. Pails contraction, externally rotating into the resistance of the top hand. Okay, so you keep your top hand on, you're going to build up resistance. In a contraction, imagine you were doing this with your arm. Okay, it initiates from the shoulder itself. Keep building it up. I was waffling and not concentrating there. Let's go 20 more seconds. Maintain the tension you have right now. Hopefully it's something that you can maintain for 20 seconds. Keep pushing up into that resistance. 10 seconds. 2, 1. Switch it over to rails. Actively try and pull your hand closer to the floor. Keep the top hand on. $15 seconds. Abs nice and tight. And relax. Out we come. Again, I'm in this kneeling position. You can go to half kneeling. You can go to raised kneeling. Okay, you could do this from standing. All right, you can do it from sat down. Doesn't matter. Pick a base position. Pick a base position. Sorry, that you are comfortable with. Okay, and that is going to enable you to focus on what we're actually trying to do. Arm up, fist tight. Other hand onto the abs. Take a big breath. Rotate down towards the floor. Max it out. 2, 1. Slowly back to the top. Imagine, visualization is really, really important skill. I would even say it's a skill with this, that you can, even though I've never seen the inside of a shoulder, think about whatever your imagination can provide. The actual bone divorcing itself. This would be the shoulder. Here's the arm bone rotating in there. Okay. Imagine the fibers twisting. Okay. Here we go. Number 2. Ready and rotate. Don't throw the shoulder. Keep it here. Think about the elbow getting out. 2, 1. Back up. Rotate down. Down. Oh, God. And rotate down. Max it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Back to the top. Into the passive range lift off. Set it up again, either straight legs or bent, depending on your room in your house. Back to the same position. Start off end range, so where you were. All right, back off 15, 20 degrees. Open that hand up. Take a big breath. Abs nice and tight, and pull off towards the floor. And back. 10. Ready? And lift. 9. And lift. 8. Try and keep that wrist straight, not bent. And lift. 7. And lift. 6. And lift. 5. and lift. 4 and lift. 3 and lift. 2 and lift. 1. Whew. Okay. Nicely done. Nicely done. Nicely done. Nicely done. So that is the internal shoulder series. Now, as I said, with this being August, what I want to try and do is run the same theme. And just quickly, if you didn't get the email, if you haven't read your email, what I've said is, if you can't make it to any of the sessions, but because they're going to have a running theme, pay your money, I'll send you the recording like I'm doing with this. Okay, so next week will be a building of that same, but different. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to look at today was also shoulder flexion. So I'm going to start with the way that I did it on Sunday to begin with, and then I will do it on the other arm with the, will I do that? No, I guess if people want to do it with a pole, no, I will. Okay, I'll do one arm flat, and then I'll do one arm from the quadruped position. Okay, because you've got the recording, you can just revert back if you need to know how to do this. Okay, what I haven't, oh no, I can't do this. Okay, right, so similar sort of thing. We're going to take a few breaths, like work up to sort of a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes in a stretch position. Okay, then we'll do one round of Pails and Rails. Okay, and then we're going to do some passive range liftoff. So a slightly different way that I didn't do it on Sunday because I was super stretched for time at that point. So let's have a look at it. Right, so I'm going to do my right arm first. Okay, I'm doing it from the prone position because this is what I did on Sunday. So I'm hoping that I've been told that the, what am I trying to say? The audio is not great, but you know, what do you expect for 135 quid headphones? Unbelievable. Okay, face down, flat. Ideally legs together, okay? And you'll be able to turn the hips, tuck them so that you're not sticking your ass in the air. All right, stretch the arm out. Now I'm going to use this pole, but you would be using your novels or your yoga blocks, or maybe if you've got shitty shoulders, maybe it's just the floor, okay? Maybe even if the floor is too much stretch, you would be then looking at using the pole in the other positions, so stand by. First of all, we'll do it through here, okay? For me, in order to get the stretched tissues, which is the kind of underside of the shoulder now, you're gonna see how high I need to go. However, if you do not need to go that high, don't worry, because intention is more important than position. Don't necessarily have to copy me. You don't have to, it's not yoga, you're not trying to make an exact shape. We're looking for intention. Okay, so here we go. Face down. Work your hand up your pole, or if you've got novels or books at the right height, great. For me, I'm about here, and I can feel that stretch now on the underside. So you're going to keep taking those nice, long, deep breaths. Okay, head down. I'm trying to get this audio right. Okay, so you can just follow my voice now. Head down, allow that stretch on the underside of the arm through the armpit. Okay, not on a closing angle, which would be on the top of the shoulder. No closing angle joint pain. Head down. Big breath in. Keep the passive stretch going. Now, we'll give the command of ribcage down, glutes on, okay? Basically, just trying to squeeze your abs, all right? That is going to make it a lot harder for you guys, all right? What will tend to happen when you do the rails contraction, if you don't lock in the abdomen, you will then start to arch through the lower back. That would be a compensation that would be less than ideal. If you can't avoid it, don't worry, okay? But if it starts to bug you, then we would have to come up with a way for you to actually coach out of that. In which case, kin stretch isn't a great idea. Well, isn't ideal, okay? Particularly ones where I can't come around in class and actually manhandle you to a degree, okay? But we can talk about it afterwards. Think about some other exercises that are going to help you, all right? Or we come in for an assessment and then we would try and find some other things for your personal practice that would then enhance your kin stretch practice, okay? Arm down. Okay, here we go. Last deep breath in. Breathe out. Squeeze your bum, ribcage down. Pails movement or Pails contraction here is to drive down into the floor. You build it up for 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, keep driving down. 20 seconds holding it at that intensity. Your hand is sliding down the pole like me because it's super freaking hot. Readjust. If you want to block, great. Keep driving into that block. And rails contraction, try and lift the pole off the floor. Now it shouldn't come off the floor because you're at your end range, but using all the muscles on the reverse side of the shoulder blade. Trying to get all that stuff on the back side of the shoulder to try and lift that pole up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So if you can just take your hand up a little bit more or get them higher on those books. If not, don't worry. Let it come down. All right, now with a passive range liftoff, it's the same sort of idea with this, okay? Now, we know which range is your end range because it was one where you couldn't lift, okay? So the first port of call would be then to reduce that angle by 15, 20 degrees. So if you're using your pole, you would slide down a little bit. Don't worry, we're going to do 10 of these. So if you don't get the first one right, it's okay, you can just adjust, okay? Again, we're trying to lift the arm upwards towards the ceiling, okay, or create space between your hand and the block if you're using blocks or books, or to create space between the pole and the floor, okay? It will look like this. This would be my end range. This is where I did my Pails and Rails. I slide down to make sure that it's lower 15, 20 degrees. I take a big breath. I squeeze my bum, lock my rib cage in, and yeah, you might not have been able to see it, but I reckon you could have got a credit card underneath there. That would be 1. All right, here we go. This is your turn. Ready? Take a breath and lock it in and lift. Down and lift. And lift. Down and lift. 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 Oh my God. Right. As promised, I will now do it from the quadruped position. My God. I'm melting. If you want to do it from the prone position, go for it. All right. The Pails and Rails are still the same. Okay. So you don't need to revert. You don't need to rewind. You can just join in with this. For those people who wanted to do it for this, more comfortable, great. Why would this position be a good idea? Well, if you have really shitty shoulders and you've got no flexion at all, okay, and you can only really get up to, let's say, like here, well, obviously if I'm lying down on the floor, I just don't have that range anyway, okay? So a position like this or like this might enable you to work a little bit more. In fact, this is probably be the better position. So let's do it this way, okay? So folded knees, all right? Arms out in front, all right? If you do not have the range, it's okay to be here. That's fine. That's your shoulder flexion. That's all right. Eventually, you'll be all the way up here. All right? So we take a breath. Those people who are prone, get into the same position, but on the opposite arm. We just take a few breaths here. God, it really is hard to just sweat. I'll put my hand on the top. Let's see how that happens. If you are in this sort of collapsed quadruped position, or indeed in a quadruped position here, you don't want to be rotated out, okay? Chest, nipples need to be facing the floor, knees under hips, all right? See, that's a bit better for me. So we keep breathing. Why, Matt? Why is this a good idea? Well, I'll tell you why it's a good idea, because if you like pull-ups, you need more shoulder flexion, okay? If you, it's summertime, you like a bit of lawn tennis, you want that sexy serve, throwing that ball up in front of you so that your arm's nice and straight above your head without having to go into your low back too much, you need shoulder flexion, okay? Loads of reasons. Putting stuff away in cupboards, lofts, you know the drill. Keep passively stretching, deep breaths in. Hopefully you've gone high enough with the arm so that you're at your end range. Okay, that's where we want to work. That's where we want to push into new space. So now we're going to do our pails and rails. Pails is to drive down into the floor, loading the stretch tissue on the underneath. Take a breath. Abs on, and start to drive down into the floor. Build it up for 10 seconds. Hold it there now, 15 seconds to go. Driving down into the floor. 2, 1, switch it up. Rails, contraction, all of the stuff on the back of the shoulder, okay? Trying to lift that arm off the floor. It won't come up. Bring it on slowly. Working all over the shoulder blade. The triceps working hard. Forearms working hard. Abs are working hard. Try and lift. Less than 15 seconds now. Two, 1, relax. Okay. Might be helpful for these passive range lifts if I turn this way. Right. I got to get this done before the sun swings around and then it glares out. Okay, passive range lift off. Same thing. Take yourself to end range, slide down 15, 20 degrees in this instance. Okay, when we were doing the internal, we let ourselves come out of that stretch 15 or 20 degrees, okay? If you still have no control there and you can't get any movement, come more. But normally 15, 20 degrees is about enough for us to start getting some control there, okay? So we're going to do 10 reps. I'm going to do them from the quadruped position. That looks like this. If you're prone, obviously you just do what we just did before, okay? It's the same thing. Set it up, nice and long, rib cage down, brace. I'm out. So I was up here, 15, 20 degrees, probably about there for me. All right, normally you get a feel as like, am I going to be able to get this off? And if the answer is immediately no, you're too high. All right, here we go, big breath. Tense up all those muscles on the regressive tissue on the back of the shoulder and lift. 1, down. You should see space between my pole and the floor. Ready? And lift. 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 One more because I think I bollocks it. And lift. Okay, if you found yourself bending at the elbow there, or rotating into yourself, or like I said, letting that shoulder roll forward, like you're trying to hold a phone. Okay, those are all compensations, all right? It just probably means that there's a bigger discrepancy, okay, a bigger ratio Bigger ratio? I don't know. The difference between your active and passive is just very big, okay? Actually, my shoulder flexion, for example, is actually pretty good, all right? But I would say that the ratio is too big. All right, I'm going to say too big, all right? My passive is all the way up here, and then I've got to come all the way down here to get some lift, all right? So I wouldn't probably in my own personal practice start expanding that range just to control what I've got, because I already have enough range to do what I want to do, which is mostly pull-ups, all right? I just want to control it better, okay, without having to rely on pull-ups to do that, because I'm a big fatty, all right, 95. You don't need to know that. A gentleman shouldn't talk about his weight. Anyway, however, if you don't have that range and you want to do pull-ups, no pull-ups for you until you own that, and then you can then start going to vertical pulling movements, okay? Otherwise, you just stay in your range for pulls, all right? If you don't want to put in the work, just be happy with what you got. Don't ask your body stuff to do stuff that it doesn't have the prerequisites for, okay? All right, swimmers, this is how we finished, okay? We definitely did those. I'm going to do 5 from the quadruped position. We call them half swimmers, all right? We'll go half swimmers today, so mix it up, all right? I've got to turn away because of the sun. It's really killing me, okay? So here we go. We'll go from all fours position. Take a breath, put your hand at the side of the head. Now, chest wants to stay forward the whole time or facing the floor. We don't want to open up too much. If you can't stop that compensation, don't worry, be aware of it, okay? Don't just go into it willy-nilly, all right? Hand at the side of the head. We're going to lift the elbow up high as you can. Keep that chest facing the floor. Open up into a half wide position. That's what we just trained. Take that to the side, T position, as high as you can. Rotate the thumb towards the floor from the shoulder. Reach back, hold, bend at the elbow, place the hand high into the back. Down, relax, that's 1. Back out the same way, up towards the ceiling, shoulder back. Rotate the hand as you bring forward into T shape. Through the Y, back onto the head. Did I say 5? Christ. Okay, here we go. Elbow high. Straighten the elbow, Y shape. Y shape into T. Keep the height. Rotate thumb down towards the floor. Work that arm backwards, thumb up towards the ceiling. Relay race. Elbow bend, hand high into the back. Relax. Lift out. Hand up. Thumb up towards the ceiling. Straighten the elbow. Shoulder blades together. Rotate the hand as you bring through to T shape. Nice and high. T shape through Y. Side of the head. Relax. 2. You're an idiot. Drop 5. Who does 5? Here we go. Sorry about the wind. Lift. Y shape. T shape. Rotate. Height. Thumb towards the ceiling. Arm is below back. Out of the back. Thumb up. Rotate through T. T to Y. Y to head. Down. 3. Elbow high. Into Y. If you've lost the pace, don't worry. Go at your own pace. Rotate. Back high. Bend the elbow. Lift. Rotate. Y. Head. Elbow. Last one. Up. Y. T. Rotate. Reach back. Relay race. Bend at the elbow. Into the small of the back. Lift out. Straight. T shape. Y shape. And back. Now, if you're like me, then you will have lost height then. Fatigue, okay? How long do you do an exercise for? Well, I mean, if you were doing in a proper sort of program, these exercises are the same as your squats, your lunges, your bicep curls. You got your squats, your deadlifts, all right? And you would need to program them accordingly, okay? That is a stimulus, you need to adapt from it and recover, or recover and adapt, okay? So how do you know with new stuff? Well, you kind of give it a go. If it's a new thing, a new range, I wouldn't be doing it every day. I wouldn't squat every day. Okay, so I would think about it like that. Okay, how long within a set do you keep doing reps like that? Well, you set a number, I'd set 5. And you could see now, like for me, I couldn't really do many more than 5 because even though, well, actually, I hadn't got too sloppy for me. Okay, if you get sloppy, stop, because sloppiness is only just an opportunity to drill bad movement. Okay, it's not practice that makes perfect, it's perfect practice that makes perfect. All right, so if you're losing range but you're keeping form, that's okay up to a point. Okay, if you've lost form and range, just stop. All right. Okay, here we go. Let me a slightly different angle. Oh, okay, here we go. Hand outside of the head. 5 reps just to finish. Elbow high. Y shape. Y shape to T. Thumb to the floor. Rotate from the shoulder. Height. Back into the relay raise. Collect the baton. Bend at the elbow. Into the small of the back. Relax. Lift the elbow. Lift the arm. Relay race. Through to Y, T shape, sorry. Y to the head. Relax. That's 1. Okay. Sorry. Hand at the side of the head. Lift the elbow high. Y shape, thumb to the ceiling. T shape, thumb to the ceiling. Rotate thumb towards the floor. Reach back, relay race. Bend at the elbow. Small of the back. Relax. Lift the arm. Lift the hands. Straighten at the elbow. Rotate T. All the way through Y. Side of the head. Down. Is that 2? Okay, 3. Lift. Y shape. T shape. Rotate. Relay race. Bend at the elbow. High in the back as you can. Chest to face the floor. Lift. Straighten the arm. Rotate through T. Y. Good. If you start to get sloppy and it's all, then stop. Watch. Listen to the commands, or go to cars, or rest and then join in again. 4 and 5. Here we go. Lift. That was a tactical little chat there because I was getting tired. Y. T. Rotate. Relay race. Into the low back. Lift. Up. Through T. Through Y. Side of the head. Last one. Lift as high as you can. Y shape. T shape. Chest to face the floor. Thumb to the flump. Oh my lord. Relay race. Bend at the elbow. Into the small of the back. Relax. Lift the elbow high. Hold. Arm comes out. Hold. Straighten the elbow. Thumb towards the ceiling. Hold. Through to T. Rotate the thumb towards the ceiling. Through the Y. Hand to head. And relax. Oh my God. Well, if this hasn't recorded, no one will know, and I'll have just been sat here talking to myself. Oh God, the thought of that. Okay, right, I'm not apologizing anymore. You're welcome. I hope to see you again. Just let me know if you want to do the session so that I know not to charge you, or just to send you the link. All right. You can expect this today. Hopefully see you probably by the time you watch this Sunday for more shoulders, same, but different. Namaste.